Hi, I'm Joe LaGrasso with 2110 Solutions, and I'm here at the Bridge Technologies booth with Philip Burnham, who's the Director of Sales. Hi, Philip.
Hi, Joe. Lovely to be here.
How's the show going?
It's going very well. This is the first time we've been in the West Hall, so we're meeting some interesting clientele, as opposed to the clientele we usually meet, who are in the compressed market. I call it compressed market, of course, distribution contribution.
Well, a little bit about Bridge Technologies that a lot of people don't know. I like to refer to Bridge Technologies as the quiet company. And what I mean by the quiet company is you've been around since 2004, and you launched and started on the distribution side, providing compressed monitoring and analytics and visualization for CDNs and OTT and multicast services. But about 4 years ago, when I got involved with Bridge Technologies, you introduced the VB440. So now you're doing all of the ST2110 fully uncompressed content contribution side of the business. And that's what we're really here talking about today.
Exactly. Well, it's all the business of moving pictures, whether they're compressed or whether they're uncompressed. And you're absolutely right, Joe. When we started the company, we were very much an IP company and considered to be kind of weird because in those days, RF ruled the roost, and it took people a while to get their head around IP. The revolution, we saw it coming 2004 onwards, where RF was on the way out and IP was on the way in. In fact, we used to call our probes IP probes. Now, of course, SDI is in the same position, where we're seeing more and more standards 2110 as being dominant. Hence the name of your company, of course, because
2110 Solutions.
You couldn't get a better name than 2110 Solutions. I think it tells people what it does on the tin.
Right, exactly. And really what excites me about the 440, and we're looking at the dual rack mount here for the 440, is it's all HTML based. So wherever you are, in your facility or even outside your cell, because everybody's doing remote production today, these are just web browsers. And because we're doing HDR to SDR conversion with tone mapping, and it's all HTML, any web browser, you can bring this up wherever you're located, whether you're in a hotel room or you're behind a rack or you're in your engineering equipment room.
Exactly. I mean, this is what we call instrument view. And the interesting thing about the way that we approach the whole business is the brains of the system are all within the server, but the visualization, I mean, you've got a really interesting visualization where you're using Apple devices, you're using iPads. It's PoE, Power over Ethernet, and it's so responsive. I mean, if it comes to an industry standard and really industry tested, you couldn't get much more tested than an iPad.
Right, right. And even camera shaders are using these iPads. Obviously, it doesn't replace an HDR display, but you know, as they say, it's good enough for government work, and the colorimetry is spot on.
Absolutely.
So they can use the 440 to do their camera shading with the waveform monitor. So if you go to the video and you have your waveform monitors, you can do your camera shading. If you're going to the audio operator can see their audio level meters. One of the new things we're showing at the show here is now we had all of these interesting graphs for the ST2110 flows, and now we have this representation which actually tells you when any one of these flows is actually out of specification.
Yes, exactly.
So if it's out of the ST21 standard, then you get these little warning signs, and you can click on those and it actually gives you more information, because everyone wants to know, how do I know if I'm in spec or within the ST2110 standard,
yes,
or out of specification?
Exactly.
And now this capability is a quick and easy way to show it to them.
Precisely. And you've got vector scope, waveform monitor, you know,
gamut display.
So anyone who's used to using the traditional way of doing business would find themselves absolutely at home with an environment like this.
Fantastic. Where if people want to, obviously 2110 Solutions, but if people wanted to know more about the VB440, where would they go to look?
Well, obviously, one excellent port of call would be your good self, 2110 Solutions, or simply go to the web. We're there, Bridge Tech TV,
Right.
.tv, and you'll find us.
And actually, Bridge Technologies just introduced a new website that highlights the VB440 in a lot of detail, and
Yes.
they've done a great job.
Yeah,
So it's been my pleasure to be affiliated with such a great company. These guys keep their heads down, their noses to the grindstone, and they just keep turning out just stellar product.
Yes.
I mean, what they do is bar none, hands down, the best, and it is quite exceptional.
Yeah, I always say we just happen to be, we're a technology company that just happens to have products that we promote.
Well, it's been my pleasure to be affiliated with Bridge Technologies.
Thank you, Joe. It's been a great pleasure working with you, and we're looking forward to many more years of our tight cooperation.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you, Joe.